I felt like I have chosen the wrong setting because I couldn't see the comment tab, but I think I'm completely unable to adapt to new technology, so it doesn't matter. At least it works now. At least I believe it does. So let me continue to just go through the containers here. Seedlings that we've sown out in the last maybe 1 month of streaming. You can go back to have a look at the older videos that I recorded. We started sowing out cactus seeds maybe 1 month ago, and we have different kind of sizes because we've sown out a few times since then, and the oldest ones are already pretty big. They have the first set of spines. They're looking great. This is one of the bigger ones that came in the batch of the first ones that I've sown out, and I like those. They are looking great. No fungus gnat in the box, in the container, and yeah, I will just close it up again to make sure that nothing comes in there. Okay. So I'm not sure if if there are comments, stuff like that. I can see them right now. Maybe they will pop up eventually on the stream, but at the moment I'm not sure if it displays the comments the same way it does with horizontal kind of thing. So I hope that I can get it to work today. Yeah. So here's a Hilde hybrid. And I don't like how one looks. It's almost transparent. I would carefully remove it and move it to the outer edges of the container already. Just thinking about what would happen if it doesn't make it. And at this point, I feel like I should maybe take it out. Yeah, I'm taking it out. There's no chance this will recover. This is just a 6 seedling. When they are completely transparent, then you can already see that something has damaged it to the point where it doesn't come back. So yeah, here's another one that I don't like. In my opinion, this cross here could have variegation issues, like where the plant isn't able to produce chlorophyll on its own. I don't think that this cross was genetically healthy. Very often when you do these hybrids with Hilde and anything else, it's really genetically troubled. Takes a while to, like, you need to graft them early on. Very few of my Hilde crosses actually made it to adulthood. Today I'm more committed and I want to work harder on keeping them around, but until then, yeah, I lost a lot of Hilde in my life. So they are just the kind of hybrid that should be grafted times. Definitely makes sense to graft them, but I don't really like to graft a lot in the first months. When I graft, it's usually something in between summer, like spring, late spring and summer. I'm not really grafting after August, like mostly grafting in between maybe April and August. August making the end where I graft. So yeah, good morning to the stream, everyone. Had to change the stream, so I'm in a new one. I was just having technical issues with the new orientation of the stream. Couldn't see the comments, and I wasn't sure if I was doing it right. We'll see how it goes, but for now everything's all right. I will do my normal stream now. Just going through the seedlings here. The seedlings, like the different kind of cacti, they are all different flower hybrids involving stuff like Störensia candicans. Yeah, interesting kind of hybrids in that regard. A lot of stuff like pink stripes, a very famous, beautiful hybrid. And yeah, the quality of the offspring here is insanely good. It is really, it deserves to be grown. And they are great. These are already a little bit older. But there are also problems, you know, that is what I mean. You have a container here, and if you look at it, it is completely like full of healthy seedlings, but there's one or two in between that didn't make it. And the reason can be all kinds of reasons, actually. But I see that this seedling here, and it's directly beside a healthy seedling. And this seedling here is transparent, which is always a bad sign. They don't do that just when everything's all right. So I need to take out the one that is transparent, because it would start to decay within the next couple of weeks maybe. And this kind of stuff can take over everything. You can lose all the seedlings because of one weak one that starts the infection. It's just sometimes in a closed bag. There isn't really a lot that can stop it if you do not take it out. And that's why we are checking them so often, looking into every bag on a regular basis, making sure that they are all right. So yeah. So next one. They're looking good, all healthy. One of them lying a little bit sideways, and I want to fix that. Just adjust the position a little bit, giving it a nice connection to the ground. Apart from that, they all look great. Healthy seedlings here. They really do well under the plant lamp that we are using. And I'm using a pretty classic weakish kind of lamp. It only draws maybe 100 watt, but it's enough. It's enough for the seedlings. It helps the seedlings to grow faster, and that is great. Oh yeah, check this out. All looking great. They are very close together, so if there is a problem, it would affect the whole thing very fast. But for now, this is okay. Looking good. We'll probably just put these under the lamp again. Nothing really special here. Okay. Let me see, next one. Yeah, they are looking great too. Uwe Kahler hybrid cross. Here's one that isn't in connection with the ground because it germinated on the outer border of the pot without actually touching the soil. So I need to transplant this. If I hadn't caught this early, it would already be too late. So maybe we can save it. But it has already dehydrated a little bit. In comparison to the other seedlings, this one looks really weak. Okay. Yeah, the others are great. The others have a huge time advantage over this one that we just moved around a little bit. Okay. I like that. So far, the seedlings are looking great. Not seeing problems with fungus gnat so far here. Okay, let me see. Yeah, I had to do something here. I noticed that one area is totally chaotic, and I need to work on that again today. But apart from that, they are looking great and healthy. I'm really a little bit like taken back from the horizontal stream. I might get back to normal stream tomorrow, like the vertical stream that I did. I kind of had more, I don't know. I was seeing the comment section all the time and I can't do it now. I'm not sure. Okay, now I found it. Yeah, it's all new to me. I don't know. But apart from that, so continuing like with the seedlings here, they are looking great. Uwe Kala hybrids. In the last days, the temperatures were a little bit lower, which had me worried a little bit, but for now it's okay. Okay. Yeah, these are growing nicely. Really healthy seedlings. There's a little bit reddish discoloration at the tip, but just a little bit. Just a tiny, tiny bit. Here's a seedling at the ground that lies sideways. And that could mean that there's a problem with the roots, like fungus gnat maybe. But I want to give it a chance. Just repositioning it. Maybe it can turn around and recover. Here's a tiny seedling that shouldn't have been in the mix. Every now and then you have seeds that come up that don't have the life force to grow, and that is here. This one here, I would want to take it out, because at some point the life force would go away, and then you have that thing in a closed container, and you might not remember checking on it in time. So yeah, welcome to the stream, guys. I'm trying to do it horizontally. I've already had a first attempt that failed, kind of. But yeah, now it's kind of working. I'm not seeing the comments yet, but I hope they will show up when they come in. Yeah, but technically, I'm a little bit like, I'm fighting here with this thing. Okay, so next one. Everything looking great. Healthy seedlings. Maybe 3 weeks old now. 2 to 3 weeks. And they are looking great. Starting to grow the first set of spines. Removing a bunch of seed corn stuff here and there. Like the remnants. But they are looking good. They don't look like they will disappear. Hey, mate. Good morning. Yeah, now I see the comment. So that is great. I was a little bit worried that by changing the orientation of the stream, the comments were gone, but they are still here. So I'm happy about that. It's a new, different kind of format. And yesterday I've been trying to kind of find the part in the app that where you can change the orientation of the stream, and it took me way too long, but I eventually found it. So today we're trying it out. Yeah, I mean, it looks wider, you know. I got to see how it kind of, every now and then the stream gets a lot of visitors from outside, and I'm not sure if that kind of changes, you know, that they apply different algorithms to different modes of streaming. I just will see how it goes. I really like the picture. Everything looks great. The Christmas tree is in view. That is nice. That's what I wanted. You know, just wanted to be able to have a little bit of stuff here and there, you know. Nice. But yeah. And I'm checking seedlings right now, going through the seedlings that I brought earlier today in the other stream. I signed a book, signed and numbered the book, and that one will go out maybe today if DHL comes over. And yeah, and now I'm doing the other stuff. What was it? I'm not. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm trying to do a lot of my work on the stream. That kind of helps me to to do it. Otherwise, I might be too lazy. When I'm on stream, I mean, you got to do the stream anyway, so you can might as well do some work that you should have done maybe months ago. But yeah, these here are looking great, but they are so concentrated on one spot in center. I think there are at least 50 seedlings at once here, and I don't like that at all. So I need to kind of move them further apart a little bit. But apart from that, they are looking great. It's just that they are so close that you might lose them all if there's an infection at one point, at one seedling somewhere in between. So yeah. But it's okay. You know, it's always hard to move little blocks of seedlings in a way that they have perfect contact to the soil. So maybe we have to do some more later, like move them again a little bit, transplant them a little bit. We do it so often on the stream that it doesn't matter. But yeah, these are super healthy. I'm very happy that like a large part of the fungus gnat problems, they only affect a certain kind of range of seedlings. Oh yeah, Mr. Prickles is a good breeder. I've seen some like flowering plants yesterday, I believe, from him. That's a page of Timothy, right? If it is, he has been posting some really nice stuff. I'm really following his posts, and some of the hybrids, I believe they are by misplant, but I'm not entirely sure. But it's the kind of plant that I've seen a lot coming from misplant, like these huge kind of columnar plants with huge flowers. Really good work. He does exactly what I would do if I were in his position, or if I were in Australia trying to have just an immense amount of great plants to work with. Very nice, good work. I stopped watching like a lot of other pages. When I see something, it's just by accident. I've been spending too much time just watching what others do, you know, so I'm kind of only seeing a few every now and then now. Yeah, I mean, it's the kind of stuff, it's exactly the kind of work that I would do. I mean, so I really think he's doing it right. Just that one group of hybrids that I have seen with a huge kind of flower, and it is I'm not sure what the flower has. It looks a little bit like feathers, a little bit feathery, you know, a little bit ragged, and just that one generation alone that he has, I think he has a few different sisters from the cross that could already be insane, just the stuff coming from those. And then there were more photos downwards. At some point I just stopped because I was feeling like, wow, these are great, I would love to have these. So yeah, a lot of good stuff in Australia. The community will kind of start to become really good now that they have imported the right kind of plants, you know, and they already have that genetic kind of heritage from the older ones, from the hybrids that are already there. And what Joylene does with the Sörensia hybrids, you know, and this will combine at some point, and I'm sure that would be amazing. I'm seeing a lot of good stuff coming from Australia that is like Thaiensis hybrids, the more unusual kind of hybrids, the more columnar kind of hybrids, Tersheki hybrids, that stuff. I'm seeing a lot of good stuff also from the Cactus sisters, that account I really like. Yeah, good. It's a good time to be a breeder. And even if they were to shut down the imports to Australia, at this point, I guess it's too late. They just have such an amazing range of plants there, and yeah, that's good. I mean, you know, they shouldn't be so hard on the cactus community because most of these but I'm back. But I'm back. Seems I'm back. Connection has dropped at some point. But I seem to be back. So yeah, whatever I was saying, Australia to have a great time. Great community, and it's a great thing to have been so involved with them over the years, you know. It's like I'm proud of them, you know, watching at everything and how everything has grown. I'm very proud of the community. I'm not sure what it is with the connectivity here, but I seem to be going offline a few times. Okay. Now checking more seedlings here. These are very big. Among the biggest seedlings that I've shown so far in regards to the growth rate and everything. Let me see. Shown so far in regards to the growth rate and everything. Let me see what it is. Oh yeah, this is one of my own. It has problems here and there. Feel like every now and then a seedling just disappears. I suspect it's from fungus gnats, but I can't tell for sure. But for now, they are looking great. It's okay. So yeah, great to be back in the stream. I'm almost at the point where I can just lean back and focus on the winter, focus on growing everything and getting the plants through the winter. So far, it was just too stressful until this point, but it's getting better soon. I know. I've been promised that. Life promised me that. Things are getting easier now. So yeah, here's another one. Healthy looking seedlings. One or two are a little bit reddish, but that's okay. No infections, no fungus gnat. That is great. It's the way I love it. And I also brought some seeds that I want to clean later because I started talking about, like, you know, doing something again with the seeds, and it's putting pressure on me, so I really want to do it. People keep contacting me, sending me photos of the plants that have flowered from me, you know, from my crosses, and it makes me proud. So every time I see a new hybrid, see something that was grown from my seeds, I feel like doing something again, like spreading like a few here and there, few crosses here and there. So we'll probably do that. I will probably do that sometime soon. Okay, so here's a seedling that I'm taking out. It was somewhat buried, and I feel like it might already be past the point where it can recover. Lubivia winteriana. Apart from that, the seedlings are looking healthy. Okay, healthily. Okay, next one. Yeah, I mean, I'm growing a lot of cactus seeds under a plant lamp, and I'm mostly running the plant lamp because the cat likes to sit there because it's warm and nice and cozy. So I'm pretty much running a plant lamp just for a few seedlings and the cat. But I mean, she enjoys the place. She enjoys sitting there. So I let it run. Okay, these are looking great also. Maybe 3 weeks old. A little bit of discoloration at some green seedlings, some not, but it's okay. All right, but also focused, like concentrated in center. A lot of seedlings where I feel like they are too close. Okay, let me see. A lot of healthy seedlings and one seedling that just lies there. I'm not sure if it was because of gravity or because of fungus gnats, and very often it is the latter. But apart from that, it's looking good. So I'm just repositioning it and hope that it will recover. Okay. Apart from that, everything great. No fungus gnats in here. Oh, okay. I'm seeing the comments now. That one of the things with the horizontal stream, it doesn't show me the comments all the time. I'm not sure if this is a setting. But yeah, it doesn't really show them all the time. So I need to go look for them sometimes. Yeah. So I'm catching up on the comments. So thank you. With the fungus gnats, how do I get rid of it? At some point when you have them, it's not a chance. I mean, you have to transplant them, have to transplant the seedlings into a fresh medium, and we will use washed pumice, just a mineral medium, to make it very hard for them to come back. But at this point, when you have them in a closed container, it's hard to get rid of them. You can try to use like a little bit of 1.5% disinfectant that I'm using, you know. But apart from that, not really much. So we are just transplanting them at some point. And yeah, always happy to send seeds to Australia. I will never stop, even if the success rate is low. I'm just not doing it commercially anymore. But I want to send more seeds to Australian friends again. It's just fun to see them flowering again every time, and that's why I really want to get back to it. I at some point, like when I did my 2024 seed drop that I made, I was just so exhausted because almost everything that I sent to Australia eventually, like there were problems. Like some of them got through, but a lot of them didn't. And Australian quarantine were at the time just destroying stuff because of a little invasive bug, something like that, that wasn't even like naturally, that wasn't even in my country, that they didn't even have in my country. But my seeds were kind of caught up in 2024, and that really made me take a step back. But I really miss it already in a way, like being able to every year see a little bit of the offspring that you've sent around. Because every now and then, like when you miss a few years, there will be a time when you see nothing new at all, because they usually always take the same kind of time to flower. So there will be a time, 2031, when I see no hybrids from me, maybe, or you know, like that. So I want to get back to it again. Let me see. Yeah, it's a great feeling when you are able to just send the seeds around. You are kind of leaving plants behind everywhere. You sometimes walk past random plants somewhere, you know, where someone had planted out something, and it's just something great where you can really make an impression, leave something behind. It is, and every now and then a post goes viral with a plant that I made, maybe in 2017, 2000, or even 2010. You know, I was already making crosses earlier, but the really good ones came with the greenhouses around 2017. So the next years will be really interesting from my point of view, just seeing what's out there. A lot of the labels have been lost, which is natural because these had numbers very often and very long, like list of parents involved, very long family trees. So there's often the problem that you can no longer tell which cross it was, but there are many out there, and I've seen some good ones this year alone. Like a few friends sent me photos of first flowers, and they were great. I'm currently in the position I could be like one of the best breeders out there. Like if you just look at the plants that you know, or just a one like in the middle somewhere, and both would be great for me. But it's kind of interesting to see where everything will land. Like you cannot really judge about the quality of a year of a year as a cactus breeder until you have seen them flowering. I mean, you can already tell something about the kind of crosses that succeeded, but every now and then you just make a cross that will stand the test of time, that will be interesting even in 20-30 years, and you sometimes don't know which one it is. So I'm just leaning back and waiting for my friends from all over the world to send me photos. It's a great feeling. But yeah, and I would love to grow more myself, but it's a space issue. I'm often very happy when I can send seeds away, because I then at least know for a fact that they will get somewhere where there's enough grow space that it won't be an issue. At some point, you see what we're growing here, just from this year, like the stuff that I'm sowing out here. This is just one from 2024, or maybe there are 1 and 2 from Uwe Kahle that are a little bit older, but it's very difficult to be a breeder and grow everything yourself. So you always gotta learn to let go, give stuff away, and I enjoy that part of the hobby. So yeah, let me see what's going on there. I'm not really sure if that horizontal stream will stay. I will really have to think that through. We'll see. I'm not really, I don't know, in this kind of way they are constantly like hiding the comments, and that's kind of hard to, because sometimes you miss when there's a new one. I'm not sure. We'll see how that goes. Maybe I'm just too old to adapt to new tech. Okay, these are looking great here. Very young seedlings, not so long. I think we've sown these maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, and they're looking great, reacting perfectly to the lamp, but not really far along. It will take a while until we can show bigger seedlings from our own crosses that we've sown here. I really want to do this long term, trying to show them how they develop in the next years. Would be great, would be a great thing to say, okay, we have sown out the seeds for this plant on this stream and this year, and we can trace it back, back like into the future, trace it into the future to the flowering plant later. That would be great, but I'm not sure if I'm organized enough for that. We'll see. Okay, yeah, these are looking great. Pretty big seedlings, and it's from like a cross of mine from 2024, involving a columnar as a father, a flowering hybrid as mother, flower hybrid as mother, and a columnar father. That means the way I look at the seedlings right now, they look pretty much like the father came through. That could be great, just from the first impression that I get from the seedling, but I'm not sure. You can't tell for sure. It happens rarely that the father has a very distinct impression on the body of the next generation, but it can happen. Okay, so here's a problem in this one. I think there's a seedling that is lost. At least it looks like that. This is fungus gnat. Classic, like when you realize that the seedlings just fall over, that they don't have a healthy connection to the ground anymore, then it's very often fungus gnat, because they have the larvae, and I now see it. It's the first time that I'm seeing it. and it was straight at that seedling that I had to take out. This is really bad. Let me see what kind of a cross this is. I think we need to transplant them. I will get washed pumice for the next streams. I need to take these out. This is really bad. Putting this one aside. I have 2 that I want to transplant into the washed pumice, and the washed pumice is a little bit better in the sense that it is more resistant against fungus gnats. They just don't have it easy to propagate in that thing, in that medium. So we will use that. Okay. This might be the same cross. I think the seedlings look similar. And also the situation looks similar. Here's one that is tiny, that might not make it, but I will give it a chance. Sometimes the small, tiny seedlings can be really interesting because they are mutated. They're kind of growing slower because they have a different genetic situation. So I often give them a chance when I see that they have the potential to make it. But we need to inspect these here again very soon. Okay. Yeah, apart from that, today's update, today's seedlings that we checked, everything is great apart from the fungus gnats. And they are only in a part of the bags. Probably got in through the soil before we even used it, like before I even got it. Maybe we will get a different kind of brand next time. For now, everything's all right. This one's looking great. Healthy looking seedlings. But there's always potential for fungus gnats, even when things are going great. Okay. Let me see here. These are looking good. No problem. The soil doesn't look like it's infested. Every now and then when you have a soil where fungus gnats are pretty wide in it, like where they are covering a lot of the soil, you can see it. The quality of the soil just drops. And in this case, it just looks healthy. Just had to transplant a seedling here and there, but apart from that, it's looking good. Can't see any fungus gnats in the soil, and that is good. I'm happy about that. Okay, we really need to find space for them. I would love to grow all of them, like really grow all of them. But it will be at some point. It will be very painful for me. Just repotting them. Like this year I had to repot a lot, and I had to repot a lot of very spiny plants. And just there were sometimes moments when I looked at a pot that had 5-6 seedlings in it, and they were so spiny, and just the thought of repotting it would make me want to go out of the garden. So this will be a lot of repotting work. Here's a tiny seedling that has germinated on top of other seedlings, and that is risky because it already looks like it didn't get any kind of nutrients, any kind of soil, and when that happens, the tiny seedling on top can just expire at some point. and it will mean that it will kickstart an infection right in the center of the seedlings, and that is not good. I don't want that. Over here we have a lot of, like a big piece of bark that has covered a few seedlings. I wanted to take that out too, because then you have seedlings that germinate below a big piece of, like a pebble or whatever piece of thing that this is, and they will at some point run out of chlorophyll because they don't get a lot of chlorophyll in there. Okay, yeah, apart from that, they're looking good. Just had a fungus gnat fly by me, but it doesn't show in the seedlings very often. I'm not sure why. Very often they just can't cause problems the way they do in other cases, like in these containers here that I put aside. Okay, these are looking great, super healthy. But one or two seedlings that I transplanted poorly that we need to take out because they didn't make it. When you're transplanting, everything can happen. You can lose the tiny cactus seedlings very easily, like that. If the root breaks off, you probably can save them. And here's one where there's one seedling that's firmly pressed against others, and if I wouldn't take that out, it would be a huge problem. Okay, still sticks to other seedlings, to healthy seedlings. And I really need to get it out then. I don't like how this is looking. The more I look, the closer I look, the more problems I see. But apart from that, the healthy ones are looking amazing. You know, that's sometimes also interesting to think that can happen. You're constantly losing seedlings, but the rest are doing great. Trying to singling it out a little bit to reduce the risk of spread. If something happens, then I can at least get it out before it becomes a huge thing in the whole container. Okay. Yeah, and I continued to upload videos yesterday from the 2022 season. You can see I look quite different back then. I wasn't doing well during that time. I mean, I've never done well. I'm never doing well, but at the time I was getting a lot of cortisone, so it kind of shows in my face. So yeah, I'm some of the older videos they just look a little like it's a different kind of person. And it's good that I lost that bad kind of weight, that water weight that I got from taking like strong meds at the time. Never had great health, and every now and then you go through phases in life when things change, but it's okay. I just say to myself that at some point it gets easier. Here's another seedling that is lost. Oh, it's a piece of wood with a seedling sticking on it. It's good that I took it out. That's the bad thing from the soil that we've been using. It can be great if things are going great, but if you have a fungal infection, the highly organic soil that we're using here could be a real problem. When things are going good, organic soil is the best for seedlings. But the more mineral media, they can be safer long term. And here everything is grown absolutely organically, like not without fertilizer, but with the kind of soil, I mean, like with the highly organic soil. But I gotta keep a close eye on these seedlings in this container. I've spread them out a little bit, trying to distribute them evenly through the container. And I believe it is better now, but we will have to wait and see. There must be some problem because this is the third time that I had to get involved here. And apart from that, the seedlings are looking great. Okay. Last one, and then I'm doing the seeds. I really got to make progress with seeds. I even got to clean some more. That we will do that later on the channel, cleaning them throughout the next months. But I really don't like that, so it's a little bit, it's something that I keep pushing into the future, but it needs to be done at some point. Okay. And this is the same cross, but these are looking better. No problems in here. Just healthy seedlings. Shows you that something in that other container didn't go right. Sometimes you miss a fungal infection that then kind of takes over, but without being clearly visible. You just keep having problems every now and then, and that is usually a sign. Okay, you see here. Okay, now I'm doing the kiwi stuff. I have brought me kiwi seeds here that I want to start to put into, like, do a cold treatment, because the seeds need a little bit of a cold period before they can come up. So I'm just putting them in the freezer or in the fridge. Just have a soaked paper towel in here, and I will put that into the freezer later. And then hopefully they will come up when we sow them out. I want to grow kiwi and I want to grow chili. Yesterday I made a post on Facebook talking about chili, and there was so many replies. I was surprised how many people are apparently growing chili. And I want to do more of that too. I want to open my horizon a little bit, kind of to other plants, to other brushes. We have so much space here on the land, and it's kind of important that we do something with it for the channel. So I will probably buy a few kind of brushes, fruit brushes, that kind of stuff sometime soon. I want to sow out pawpaw trees. I love these. They are great. A friend of mine is growing them in Germany, and they look amazing. But they can't really be grown with cuttings. So I need to sow them out. So within the next 6 months or so, I will be getting me seeds there, and we will be sowing them out on the stream. Could be a great thing to do. Great activity to do. So these here are Lobivia seeds. Lobivia seeds from a Jürgen Theisinger mother plant. And a cross that I did. And I want to sow out more of the Lobivia seeds that I still have, of the older ones. Because I lost a few plants here and there. And I want to at least try to get some of them back by growing offspring that I have from them. So yeah, I'm cleaning them up now. This is a piece of paper, and I'm just rolling them around on the piece of paper, just cleaning the remnants of the fruit and whatever that shouldn't be there. I just want to keep the seeds here on this piece of paper, and everything else I just brush down. This is how I've been sorting seeds my whole life. Sorting, cleaning, numbering them, labeling them. I'm constantly moving them around like this, just to get a better cleanliness, cleaner end product, cleaner seeds that I can sow out, and also to just count them. I used to count a lot of seeds, and it's something that, I mean, it's not a fun activity, but it can be good if you sit there and you kind of watch TV, you know, you kind of watch, I always watch some sort of vintage YouTube videos. I'm following a few vintage accounts, vintage toys, that kind of stuff, and I always watch that while I pack the seeds. And that is a fun thing that I really enjoyed in my life, doing that. That is one of the positive things that being a seed seller allows you, that you can do your work while you are also watching something. That is a luxury that a lot of people don't have, and that is something that I really liked. But yeah, cleaning seeds and all, it's also a lot of time-consuming tasks that go into it. And it's not something that you can do unless you're doing really wholesale seed selling. I mean, a lot of breeders out there that are kind of doing it just for the love of the hobby. They're selling seeds, but they are barely making profit. They are mostly just like doing it to continue to do the hobby because it allows them to finance it. And yeah, that's how most of the breeders that I know worked. It's not really something when you have a tiny fruit. In this case here, this might be maybe 200 seeds, maybe a little bit more, but even if it's 200, to list them. Yeah, apparently the stream keeps dropping. I'm not sure what's going on there. I'm seeing it as a sign that I should maybe do the vertical stream again. Today's streaming wasn't really like technically the way it was before. I'm not sure if that had to do with the type of stream that I use, but it's the first time that the connection keeps dropping like this. Okay. Everything's almost clean now. Still gotta shove some stuff from the piece of paper here and there, but it's okay. We're almost through. Okay. These are from a plant, Jürgen Theisinger hybrid from 2020 and 251. I think I know what it is. The flower was good, was okay, but it wasn't really something that I kept long term. So I'm not sure if I even want to sow these out. We'll see. But I always, even if the mother plant is something that I really wouldn't sow out, I try to then pick the right father, that the cross becomes interesting again. So maybe we'll see how it goes. Okay. Okay. So yeah, Lobivia hybrid cross, and the mother is by Jürgen Theisinger. Jürgen Theisinger, 2020, 251. Jürgen is a good breeder. He's a friend of mine, German breeder. I'm not sure if you're interested in Lobivia. He's a great breeder to support, in my opinion. I used to buy a lot of seeds from him, but right now I'm running out of space everywhere. But I can really recommend his stuff. He's a good breeder. In the next years, there will be many of his hybrids that are blowing people away. Okay. I really gotta like focus a little bit better on the Lobivia. The plants that I have, I've given them the best spot over winter. Just because I want to kind of apologize because they've been a little bit neglected in the past, just not getting the best spots when I could have. And Lobivia are kind of sensitive, so it's important that they get a good spot. And this year I made sure of that. The year before, I was so stuck in my personal kind of problems that I really moved. Did I just put the Lobivia at any kind of spot that I saw? I just wanted to get the plants into the greenhouse in that year, like 2024. And yeah, they didn't get, they are very small. They don't grow very tall. So you need to make sure that the Lobivia have the right spot where the light can really get to them. And if they are surrounded by taller hybrids, then it's bad for them. And this year I took greater care of that again. Okay. These here are from a cross between Gröner Orange, Flying Saucer, and Macola. I have 3 or 4 plants from that cross, and they are all amazing. One has a yellow flower, big yellow flower. The other one has a reddish kind of flower, almost multicolored. And the third one is also multicolored, I think. So it's a very good cross that I got from Uwe Karle. Need to grow some of these too. The fruits are usually small, and there are very, very few seeds. I can see them with the tiny fruit size. I can see them being kind of overlooked by my customers where I still sold seeds. So this is the kind of hybrid that you sometimes need to grow yourself because you know how good it is. I had the yellow one, the yellow Gröner Orange Flying Saucer Macola hybrid under the time lapse in summer, and it looked amazing, like really nice. This thing opened up with such white flowers. So it's really important that I kind of keep track of these kind of crosses. I need to grow more of them. And if you got some, like one of these, like Gröner Orange, Flying Saucer, Macola, let me know, because it's a great cross. None of the mothers had flowers below 20 centimeters. Or it was just at 20 centimeters, something like that. I had them flowering at the same time, and they were all huge. Color was great. They flowered early. They didn't need to be huge plants. So very useful hybrid. Yeah, and Gröner Orange, I mean, the parentage of this cross, a Gröner hybrid is named after a German cactus breeder, Professor Gröner. And yeah, so, some sort of an academic kind of professor. And he's been buying seeds from Körres, from Kakteen Körres, that were sold as Sörensia candican seeds, Trichocereus candican seeds. But it turned out they were some sort of a hybrid, probably open pollinated in the collection of the Körres collection. So some of them kind of accidentally pollinated, probably with pollen of Sörensia bruchi, something like that, something reddish. Must have been the father. And those hybrid seeds were great. They kind of had a colored flower, interesting kind of body with a lot of ribs, with a high rib count. And yeah, they've been kind of famous in the old school days of the German cactus breeding community. It is one of the old school hybrids, and today there are many follow-up hybrids with it. If you look at the Gröner hybrids now, they will kind of not knock you away. They will not really be great by themselves. If you look at just the Gröner, the original old school Gröner hybrid, they will not hold the stand of time, not be up to the current standards that the modern hybrids are, but they are amazing when used in a family tree, because they kind of worked as a bridge to bring in other kind of Lobivia that would otherwise not have worked in a cross, in an attempt of a cross pollination. And that's what made them interesting in a genetic sense. So you often see Gröner being mentioned in the list of ancestors of a cross. And yeah, that can tell you a little bit about it. Doesn't tell you that it doesn't have to be that the flowers are great, but it's generally a good sign. It's not a bad hybrid. It's interesting in a genetic sense. Opens up a lot of doors to make crosses that would otherwise fail. Okay. And these were pretty clean, but it's still not clean enough. I got to take more time to clean them. Maybe do a second cleaning if necessary. Okay. I'm always making sure that whatever I drop below this thing, I mean, this is a little box that I just use to brush everything that I sort out into. So I can go back if I accidentally sorted out a seed, I can take it back from there. It's kind of important for me, like to every now and then when you're cleaning, it happens fast and you're sorting out like 10, 15, 20 seeds just because you want to have it nice and clean, you know. So always good to be able to look over it one last time before you really sort it out. Especially since a lot of these crosses don't have a huge fruit. Very few seeds per cross. Every seed counts. Earlier today, I have shown a hybrid on the channel called Spirit of Fulda. I'm not sure if you've seen, but if you haven't, check it out. And that hybrid flowered for me in 2022. And not again, or at least only once since. And now that I've seen the flower again in the old video, it became clear how similar that plant is to Bamboy. So that is a really good flower. I really hope that I will get the plant to flower again. Last year I repotted it, gave it a better spot. So hopefully in the next season I will be able to show you a few more from that plant, because I've looked at the video, like it's just a minute-long clip. But it's amazing. It's really amazing. Like the shape, it opens so wide. And then you have the color from like similar to pink stripes. It is a very good hybrid, very good flower. and I was only able to film it for maybe twice in my life so far. It's always so chaotic when you're in the middle of a flower flush and then you have that plant that you, like, where you waited so long and it finally flowers, but you only have a little bit of time for it. So on a regular basis, when I watch the older videos, I'm kind of disappointed that I didn't take more time with it at the time, you know. Like now that I think I only have 2 videos of it. Hey Kami, what's up? Kami has been visiting me. It often means that she wants something. Not always, but sometimes. I know she loves me, but it's not that she wants to just check in to see if I'm all right. Okay. And I started filming some of the plant inspection videos again yesterday, and I've uploaded already one. Like, there will be more of them. Another one later today. I filmed 4 yesterday, and I want to publish them over time, slowly over time, just to see you, like, just to have it a little bit more balanced. I don't want to overload this thing. I don't want to overload the timeline that people have with the videos that I post. So I'm trying to balance it out. A few of them with flowers, a few of them where we're just talking about stuff, and a few of them where we're kind of inspect the plant. Hey mate, welcome to the stream. These are always different, usually hybrids. Some of them are Lobivia, some of them Sörensia. Usually hybrids to get a nice kind of flower. And yeah, that's the kind of stuff that I'm sowing out all the time. I'm fairly specialized in flower hybrids now. I still do 1 or 2 like botanical kind of crosses every year, but it's really not my focus anymore. Also because it's so much easier to do it on stream, for example, you know. It's a very, compared to the high stress environment that I had before that, when I was involved with botanical species and that kind of stuff, the color hybrids are really relaxed, and I enjoy that, you know. Like the community is very loving and supportive, and I enjoy that. Yeah, and again, it makes things easier when you're having a channel and you're showing the cool flower hybrids that you have, you know. I enjoy that. Being able to have a channel that is found on a larger scale, you know. Like a lot of the videos are successful now with the flower hybrids and all. It's great. I like it. Maybe one day it will make things easier for me here. There's so many videos that are already uploaded, you know. Maybe at some point I can just lean back a little and focus on watching what we grow here. So yeah, and these are from a hybrid, Gröner Orange, Flying Saucer, and Marcola. Gröner Orange being a Sörensia candicans hybrid. Flying Saucer is also a Sörensia Trichocereus hybrid, but with very like strongly on the Sörensia side. And Marcola is a hybrid by Uwe Kahle. One of a flower like pink stripes, kind of very good kind of flower. Wörlitz Cantora hybrid, if I remember correctly. And I'm cleaning them on the channel right now, so we can sow them out. Most of these do not grow tall. They will maybe reach 60, 70, 80 centimeters, something like that. Some of them can get taller. You know, it always depends on the cross. Everyone is kind of different. But most of the plants that I work with, they flower earlier. So, and the fact that they flower earlier also tells you a little bit about the final size. When they flower early, it's very often they don't get so tall. They will just start branching out wider. And yeah, that's the kind of stuff that I'm working with a lot. But I also try to get a more columnar hybrid, columnar body, and a nice big flower. Stuff like that is also something that I'm working on. You know, but I don't have so much space here, so I'm always a little bit limited in regards to how many plants I can grow and how tall I can let them get. Every year I gotta kind of prune back the plants in the greenhouses, and it's kind of sad, you know, because you have these plants that are now finally starting to flower, and then you have to prune them back. But unfortunately, that's how when you're working with a greenhouse, that's just how it is. There are bigger greenhouses that I could at some point build, but they are very expensive. Kind of more like a winter garden kind of thing. Like, okay, we're almost done with these here. They're looking okay, pretty clean, everything. So we can start at least bagging them up, maybe for Christmas, for whatever I want to do there. But there are still a lot of seeds that I need to clean. Still a long way from home. Okay. So going through one last time to see if I accidentally sorted out seeds here. But most of them are just flat, unviable kind of seeds. I already, when I'm cleaning them, try to browse through and sort out everything that will not come up later, or that will, when it will come up, it will be a problem. There are often flat kind of seeds that will never be viable or will never grow into something healthy, and I often sort them out before they even get into the soil. Doing a lot of that, just feeling them, putting them between the fingers and just feeling if there's life in there. If you can feel a kind of size of something that could grow into a plant. And very often when you don't feel it, it's not there. Okay. Yeah, but this is enough. I don't care. Clean enough. The way I work, I will continue to clean next time I'm taking them out of the bag, so it's okay. So the cross is Gröner, Orange, Flying Saucer, and Marcola. These were really good. Some of my my best plants on the channel in the last years. Really nice, big flowering hybrids. Okay. Next one. What's this? Oh yeah, this is going to be a lot of work. I don't like it. But this is Gräsers, no, not Gräsers, Eckert's Schönste. Eckert's Schönste. Karl Eckert, German breeder. Unfortunately passed away recently. And this hybrid here is a Gräser follow-up hybrid with ruffled flowers. And ruffled flowers, it's always special, it's always interesting.
but a lot of them have a similar kind of color. And this one is famous for not having that kind of color. This one has a very nice reddish kind of color tone, and that makes it special, makes it stand out. I have shown it on the channel this year, and it was among the ones that where people commented the most, where the post went viral on Facebook. Yeah, and it's not an accident because the flowers are really beautiful. Let me see what the comments say. I have a grow tent for the cactus seedlings right now, because when I start fertilizing them, I don't want to have that on my hardwood floor, on the wood floor, So I brought in a little tent, and I have a plant lamp in it. Nothing special, just a basic kind of, I don't know, 150 watts, maybe 100 watts is the lamp that I'm using. Yeah, and I have it's basically for the cactus seedlings and for Kami right now. The cat loves to sleep there under the lamp, and yeah. So I'm using something like that. I often have it as a background in my time-lapse videos. It's a good thing. I like that. I like being able to, you can kind of, when you're growing something else, like I'm considering growing a bunch of different trees, kind of chilies and stuff like that. We are just sowing out kiwi here on the channel. And it's great because you can create a kind of humid kind of climate in them. You can do whatever you want. It's easier than when you just have a plant in the house, It's harder to control the climate, the humidity. So I'm a fan of these things. What makes them hybrid? Basically, they are just the plants that I grow here. They are not botanical, like they are not the classic species how you would find them in nature. That means the plants that I have here, they are where someone took one species that had a white flower, and took another one, a closely related species that maybe had a red flower, and crossed them in order to get offspring in the next generation with kind of different traits, kind of getting the flower into something that would otherwise not have a colored flower. And that's what these are. You are kind of, a lot of the plants that I'm showing here, they have at least 5-6 different kind of parents in their family tree, different kind of already hybrids, plants that were already far away from the botanical kind of version of that species, the way it originally was, There's a lot of work that already went into this breeding, cactusing, in order to always get bigger flowers, to kind of improve the flowering in a way, because very often with botanical species, they take very long to flower. So you try to get them to flower earlier, like the next generation that you are creating by pollinating them, I mean, sure, you have certain traits in that one species, and you have other traits in that other species. Let's say you want to get a plant that is a columnar cactus, like a columnar species, but it has a colored flower. But the botanical version of that species, of the columnar cacti, they often have a white flower, So you kind of try to, in the next generation, maybe get something that is columnar, classic columnar cactus, but has a colored flower. So you would use something, a closely related species like Trichocereus candicans, Cerenzia candicans. It is a famous plant for having a lot of natural hybrids with colored flowers, and you would use that as a fodder on one of the more columnar plants that you have, in order to get something that has the best of both of them, a columnar body and a colored flower. Like you are trying to look at whatever plant you have in front of you, and you pick something where you feel like it can improve it in the next generation. So and every cross is different. There are so many different parents involved in the family trees already of these hybrids that you cannot really predict how they will flower. You cannot really use Mendel's law to guess what kind of a flower color you will get. That can be possible in rare cases, but with so many different genetic situations that you just cannot predict, you will just have to grow them. So I'm growing a lot of hybrid seeds here, and every seedling can have a different flower. There's no really, like in this container, there are maybe 50 seedlings, and every one of them could have a different kind of flower. So that is why it's a rewarding hobby. It is fun to make these crosses, because you can then see what kind of traits from the parents have been coming into the next generation. Sometimes it works great, sometimes it doesn't. I'm currently sowing out. I mean, I'm already sowing out too many, not sowing out more than maybe 100 per type. And that's already too much. I should do a lot more sorting out. I shouldn't keep so many, but due to the fact that these are all great, it's kind of hard to sort them out early. So I try to get them to flower and then sort them out. So yeah, in regards to the phenotype, I really try to get a columnar kind of body, like the classic columnar cactus, and try to get big colorful flowers on them. Stuff like pink stripes, stuff like flying saucer, or maybe a ruffled flower on a columnar cactus. That is the kind of stuff that I want to do. But I also have a lot of plants that are totally different. Like, just sometimes it's the flower that I like because the flower is very big, because it is ruffled or ragged. You know, sometimes I have some that have flowers that look a little bit like feathers. And yeah, I grow all kinds of different plants for different reasons, you know, because when you are a breeder, you don't want to make the same crosses over and over again. So I'm growing a lot of different kind of plants. I'm even now growing more botanical species again to kind of make crosses with them, with the hybrids again. Kind of going back to the original source to start fresh, that kind of stuff. Yeah, and it's a very rewarding hobby. It is very much like unpredictable. The unpredictability of it, the fact that you will never be able to just look at the label and know what you have there, and that is kind of making the hobby always interesting. It's a family-friendly kind of thing, you know. It brings more people into the hobby, younger people, and I enjoy that about it. Like when I got started with cactus breeding, it was mostly done by a lot of older people, you know, like, and that, I feel like that has changed. Today, a lot of the people that I'm friends with, they're kind of my age group. It's become more like an activity for younger people too. Yeah, I think I know what you mean. Yes, it's looking really good. There's some of them that are great. You can never know. Sometimes you make a cross, and on paper it has everything, and then they finally flower after maybe 5, 6, 7 years, and then you see them and the flower is disappointing. You know, you can never really fully predict it. You just have to make these crosses, and you have to learn about the plants that you are using. Thank you. Yeah, I have a lot of them, like different ones. I've been doing this for a very long time. Every year I consider to retire. But I've been never at such a great position with the channel. Things are growing great with the channel. But I'm not doing it forever anymore. We'll see how it goes. Every year, we'll see how it goes. And we're doing it for another year now until the next season, and then we'll make that decision again if we continue another year or not. because it's such a rough hobby. I mean, where I live, everything has to be carried to the house or has to be carried to the site. You gotta do the repotting. You need pots. You need everything. You need soil. And every year I get maybe 100 tick bites where I live. So it's not really something that I will do forever. I've been having problems with Lyme, like with the tick stuff. And every year that I'm going out again to make new videos and new crosses, it's always another year where I'm probably getting Lyme disease again. So yeah, but I mean, you see the videos on the channel, it's also worth it. You know, I'm currently looking at videos and posting videos from 2022, something like that. So you leave an immense, every season that I do on video is another season where I have thousands of videos. So that makes it worth it right now. I'm not sure if I'll do forever, but if at that point when I stop, I will have a huge channel full of videos and people will be able to kind of look at it long term. You know, it's a great advertising for the hobby. And I enjoy that about it. Okay. These are getting better. This was one of the crosses where there was really a lot of cleaning work, and this will take another half an hour to just get these cleaned. I should maybe consider doing it another cleaning with water. That can sometimes make sense when everything's hasn't been cleaned well enough in the first cleaning. The goal is to get the seeds so clean that you can sow them out. And I'm trying that. Okay, so I'm doing maybe another 10 minutes or so of stream. And then I got to look after Kami. She's been already kind of complaining about me being absent. Taking care of my like 16-year-old cat, and it's not easy. Every day is a new challenge, but also every day is a new gift. I don't germinate on paper towels. In this case here, this is a situation where I'm using a wet paper towel just to do the cold treatment that is needed for the kiwi seeds that we're sowing out. This will go into the freezer. When I'm sowing out, and I've recorded videos, so if you really want to take a look, I've been showing it like a month ago already. And these are this is cemetery soil that I've been using, highly organic soil, and it's been going all great, okay, but some problems with fungus gnats here and there. So the next time we are using classic sowing soil again. Just standard sowing soil is often the best to sow out. If you are starting, like if you would induce germination in a paper towel, you would have to carefully transplant them. These are so sensitive, so tiny. They're usually just sprinkled on top of the soil, very much like grass seeds. You know, it's the kind of plants that probably would not do well when you transplant them from a wet paper towel to the soil. It can work, but if you look at it, like if you have 100 seedlings and you do it, you would probably lose maybe 30%. And that is something that you try to avoid when you're sowing out in the classic sowing soil. You don't have that. You just put them in a closed bag. This is like a Ziploc bag. And it keeps the humidity maybe at like, I don't know. It keeps the humidity high enough for the seeds to germinate. And yeah, that's the way you do it with cacti. Cacti need light. You know, always sprinkle them on top of the seeds. I mean, on top of the soil. There are a bunch of different species that require more treatment, but most of the cactus seeds, they are pretty easy. at least the seeds that I'm growing here, the kind of stuff that Echinopsis, Lobivia, Cerenzia, all that stuff, they are pretty easy to grow from seeds. You just have to be careful about what kind of advice you are following. Let me see. I think it was 9 or something like 12 to 6. Let me see if I have a meter here. But it's very, very small. Can't find a meter, but it was, let me see if it's written somewhere. I think I had written it somewhere. But these are the smallest, among the smallest containers that I was able to find. And it's something like 10 to 6, not a lot, very, very small, 10 to 6 centimeters. Yeah, and I just bought the right fitting plastic bag for it to close them up. Then I move them to the heater, keep the heat at maybe 29 to 32 degrees Celsius for maybe 4 weeks to just induce the germination. And then I move them to the plant lamp, and that's where I keep them for a while. We will grow the cactus seedlings indoor all through winter now. I'm right in the middle of winter, and they will be grown indoors until we move them out next spring. Probably around, not before May. I don't want to start moving them out too early. Last year I moved them out too early, and it didn't do them good. These are tiny seedlings and they are so sensitive. You put a lot of energy into growing them indoors, you know, and then it makes no sense to kind of, by the start of the season, just move them somewhere where they might not make it. Long term, I will try to grow them indoors for as long as possible, keeping them here until they are big enough to at least survive on their own. Still a lot of stuff to clean here. These just were not very clean. I remember that I kind of forgot about cleaning them for too long. And that is something that you shouldn't do. It's a lot easier to clean the cactus fruit when it's still fresh. And when you don't do it, you have to do it like I have to do right now. Going through and cleaning and doing a second cleaning a second time. Sometimes can make sense to just clean longer during the first attempt. But this is a good cross. These are from a cross with Cactusjerk. Kind of nice, kind of red color and ruffled flowers. So this has the chance of also not being self-fertile. Every now and then with these Gräser hybrids, they are very dominant. You often get the same kind of color from them, same kind of flower color. So everything that is able to kind of accept the flower of a father that you use, that is a good kind of plant that you want to keep. And this one is like that. And the plant brought at least 4 fruits this year, which is awesome. We just have to clean them. And then we can start growing them. I even filmed the pollination that we did to get these seeds here. So if you look for it, the name is Cactusjerk. Maybe you'll find it on the channel. And the video was spectacular. Really nice reddish kind of flower. Very good. So I'm finishing this up. And then I'm going offline. I'm starting to really feel it. I'm always like been going through a few rounds of Lyme disease, and it's always like problems with the muscles after a certain point. It gets harder to talk. So I usually try to kind of phase it out around this time. Yes, I had a lot. Have you grown any that didn't produce seeds? Yes, a lot. In general, when I film the pollinations on the channel in summer, there's a high rate of failure. I would say, let me say, at least most of the crosses that we do not succeed. A little bit more than like at least half, 60% do not succeed. Maybe 50-60% rate. But it really depends on what kind of a cross you are attempting. Sometimes you know that if you use this and that plant, it will definitely produce a fruit. But if you have done that kind of cross so often, it might not be worth it to do it again. You know, you always have to find the right balance between picking the father for the cross that will do the pollination and picking a father that is interesting in a botanical sense. Sometimes the more distant the two plants are that you want to cross, the more challenging it becomes, the higher the rate of failure, the higher the rate of failed crosses that you will have to do in order to get one fruit. So you're constantly in between picking whatever parent you feel is right for that. Some of them are super reliable. They always produce the fruit. But it's often not what gets you the best results, you know. Sometimes it can be worth it to aim for the stars, to just try a cross that is completely, that hasn't been done before. And very often when that happens, it hasn't been done before for a reason. So the success rate is very low. But it also means that if it actually succeeds, you are in a position where you have a hybrid that nobody else has, that hasn't been tried very often, that is just worth to be made, you know, worth to make that cross. And yeah, that is how I work today. I'm not really looking closely at failed pollinations. I just try to, every time I make a cross, I try to make a cross that I would personally sow out, that is still good enough that I would personally plant it myself. And that is not easy. The longer you do it, the more picky you become, the more you kind of tend to have a higher expectation. And yeah. And now the longer I've been doing it, the more interesting the crosses become. Because you do crosses that you wouldn't have done maybe 10 years ago. It's a very rewarding hobby. Okay. Getting to the point where this is really clean, where this is really nicely cleaned, and I'm happy about it. So tomorrow we'll see if I will like stream vertically or horizontally. I'm not sure which one of those two I will do. Today was the first time of the horizontal stream, and I liked it. But the one thing that I don't like is that the comments are not visible all of the time. At least not to me. So we'll see. But I liked it. I mean, I enjoyed that I was able to show you my Christmas tree here in the center, here in the corner. And that wasn't possible in yesterday's in the streams before. So I gotta think about it. Okay, guys, gotta go offline. I just got my notification that my smartphone is below 15%. But I enjoyed this today again. Really nice being online always. Always, you never know what kind of a question comes in. And I enjoy that about the stream. Being able to take comments and that stuff is great. I enjoy that. So yeah, thank you for being here. Thank you for participating. You know, I'll be back tomorrow, roughly the same time, and doing my best to do it nice again. So okay. So yeah, thank you guys. Until tomorrow.